Friends, thank you for joining me today. My friends, how often have we in the course of life put up a picture shaved, a piece of wood, built a fence or a wall, drawn a line or done some type of work that needed the critique of another's plumb line vision, and asked them, does this look straight to you? It is interesting how quickly we accept their expertise. No one has really bothered to figure out that the person they are asking advice of just may not have 20/20 vision. Furthermore, their head may not be on straight. They may have a kinked neck. The psychological fact is nothing is seen in the same light by any individual. If two people were standing looking at a bridge that leads into a town, and they both saw 20 soldiers walking over the bridge into the town, to both of these individuals, these are 20 different soldiers walking into 20 different towns. They both have a different view of what just transpired. There is the other side of the coin in which someone may say, it looks straight to me, and both agree. It is quite obvious that people in our time rarely can see straight and agree on anything. In a sense, our society seems to be living in a time when our heads are not screwed on straight. Back some 10 to 12 years ago, I mentioned that the violence in Chicago was becoming so heinous that unless this violence was curbed, it would spill into a national tragedy. Years went by, and the outlandish story is violence escalated in the city. I personally thought this great bitterness would be denounced and every true American would seek to end the violence. I was wrong. So I started pointing out for years on end that the good Lord mentions in Matthew 24 that the last days would be as the days of Noah. Anyone reading their Bible would be able to see the days of Noah were marred with violence, marked with sheer evil, and hardly a righteous man existed. Perhaps some have seen this as a great illusion on my part and pure religious superstition. I would have thought it was more visible that violence was escalating in the country. So I mentioned as well that violence would escalate in America. And to point it out, I said that it would eventually become domestic terrorism, the same as in the Middle East. My concept that people would consider becoming wise has all but proven my assumption that Americans want moral excellence is an absurdity. Taking this a step further, I began to speak on how America resembles Babylon the Great in Revelation 18. We read, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. I think this describes much of the country today, and there is no need to expound on the expletives. What is strikingly amazing is how true the words, the flesh is weak, applies to our time. And the fallacious evangelical preachers who blindly continue to think America will be a utopia. Quite honestly, politics and Christianity have now turned into a rough house of combat, endangering a society with talk of violence, forging forth a hellacious curse of national destruction. Such violent swallowings and regurgitations are for the Christians and political profiteers among us. Their thoughts are the same, that any effort to convert a weak, knavish man into an archangel overnight will end in boundless grief. So why put in the effort to change anything? No reform is necessary in politics because man will not reform. He will remain violent. Christianity all but agrees to this and now has a violent agenda for a power grab to force upon the populace a religious dictatorial government. So the consensus among society as I see it is man's hope is in men in political power is no longer. And now the defunct Christian faith, it has also been shattered. Man's only hope is in the appearance of a Superman who can help solve all the violent ills of the nation and the world. Thus, the hopeful appearance of the Superman Antichrist, who is prophesied to bring peace and justice to the world. I leave you with this. Everything we see today in America, our love of violence, a hateful Christianity, the looking for the appearance of the Superman Antichrist, is our head really screwed on straight? God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.